So shall we start now? Okay, fellow Toastmasters and guests, a very good evening and welcome to the Sunday meetings of Karachi Toastmasters Club, and welcome to the 979th meeting. Few ground rules to follow. Since we all are in online setup, so you all are requested to turn on your videos so that we have better interaction. You are requested to mute your mics unless you are asked to do so. Three topics which we encourage not to talk about. First one is politics, second one is religion, and third one is gender discrimination. So with that, I would like to hand over the charge to the president, currently serving as district director of District 122, not the TC, but the provisional council. We just okay, about that our DD will tell us. So put your hands together for the president. Please welcome distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran, and good morning and a blessed Ramzan to each and every one of you. I believe this is the first time that we are meeting after our last meeting, and that was before Ramadan. So first of all, delighted to see you all here, and also to see that we are here once again at 11 a.m. on a Sunday to carry out our meetings. And for that, I'm profoundly grateful. Now, I will skip over the part where we introduce Toastmasters because it will be like preaching to the converted. Everyone is already a Toastmaster in this meeting. Rather, I would like to make one correction that yes, we do talk about gender discrimination. What we don't talk about is sex. Secondly, about the change of status to provisional district, we have been granted the status of provisional district, an upgrade from territorial council with effect from July 1, 2022. In other words, exactly the very next day after my term will end. So not much use to me, but anyhow, it is good news for everyone collectively as Toastmasters and as leaders. So what is the difference between a territorial council and provisional district? The territorial council is usually formed when any place or a group has 20 or more clubs, whereas a provisional district is granted when the number of clubs exceeds 45. So currently we are standing at 47 clubs in a district, and a few of those are SIG clubs. So the net number is maybe a little less than that, but it seems that Toastmasters has seen the growth and the potential and the bright future. And that is why they have, without any conditions attached, announced that we will be known as Provisional District from July 1, 2022. Now, my message to everyone who are on their pathways journeys is that time is not far when we will become a district, inshallah. And who knows what comes with provisional district as well. So everyone who is on their DTM journeys, please complete them as soon as possible before we are all required to complete one term as a district leader. And a district leader is one of the district trio, or the finance manager, or the PR manager, or the admin manager, or one of the division directors, or one of the area directors. That's a bunch of 20 people per year that gets to play these roles. So becoming a DTM is about to become more difficult, although we have received no indication as yet. But who knows what Toastmasters wants from us starting July 1, 2022. So with that, I welcome you all once again to the meeting. And I will now hand over the charge to our Toastmaster of the day, who is someone very special. That person is one of the backbones of Karachi Toastmasters Club ever since she joined. She has never shied away from taking responsibilities. She's serving on the executive committee for the third time. And beyond the executive committee, she has had an almost flawless record of meeting attendance and playing roles. The one thing she doesn't like to do is to shy away from responsibilities and to deliver speeches. So, everyone, please put your hands together for the wonderful, hardworking, and quirky Toastmaster Hiba Reis. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Before I begin, am I visible and audible? Okay, thank you for such a warm introduction. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, Toastmasters is a public speaking platform where people from all walks of life meet to improve not only public speaking skills, but leadership skills as well. It was founded in 1924 by Ralph C. Smedley in Englewood, Colorado, United States. And Toastmasters today's theme is summer memories. Summer memories is something which we can all relate to our childhood. Summer memories brings fond memories in which we used to, go to our friends' places, cousins' houses, and stay over, spend time together. Summer memories brings lots of delicious food as well. It brings the memories of gola gandas, ice creams, chaats, samosas to us having gorging down such food during our childhood. And it also includes, you know, going to summer campaigns, playing games, and whatnot. Okay. Today's session will be divided into 3 parts. The first session would be of the prepared speeches session, in which the prepared speeches will happen, and the second session is of the table topic session, where there will be 3 speakers who will do the impromptu session by the table topic master. It will be conducted by the table topic master, and the last one will be the evaluation. So to facilitate this meeting, I have a few facilitators with me who will help me to run this meeting. The first one is the grammarian. So can I have TM Wahid, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, TM Wahid to explain his role? TM Wahid, are you there? Can you explain your role?
Yes, I am. Good morning to everybody. I'm I'm wearing 2 hats today. On the one side, I'm the grammarian and the master of the word of the day. And on the other hand, I'm playing as the role of an official in my office. So as a grammarian, is there any problem? As a grammarian, I have to check and notice the grammar of the people, the speaker, the Toastmasters who are delivering speeches, and find out the creative use of any word which is beautifully used in the sentences in their speeches. On the other hand, I'm also the word master, and the word of the day is integrity, which I have previously introduced in the group. And integrity has have 2 meanings. One of them is the complete honesty. And as an example, I have to say he's known for his integrity. So here we mean for his honesty, and also it means unity and being together. For example, we can say that Teen Talwar structure is structural in integrity. So this is the word of the day, and I should also count the usage of the word of integrity used in your speeches. Thank you. Over to you.
Moving on, now I would like the timer TM Imran Rana to explain his role.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day, for Toastmasters and guests. As a timer, my role is to make sure that the meeting proceedings are on time. There will be different timing for different segments, especially for the prepared speeches. If a speech is from 5 to 7 minutes, the virtual background will change into green at 5, like this. At 6, the virtual background change into yellow, and at 7, the virtual background turn into red. This red color means that the speaker has only 30 seconds left to wrap up his or her speech. And if the speech is from 4 to 6 minutes, green at 4, yellow at 5, red at 6. After 6:30, the speaker will be disqualified. For table topic session, the speeches are from about 1 to 2 minutes. At 1 minute, the background changed to green. At 1.5, yellow. At 2 minutes, red. Now, this red means 30 seconds left to complete your speech. After that, you will be disqualified. For prepared speech evaluation, the evaluation is the minimum qualification of evaluation is from 1.5 to 3.5 minutes. At 2 minute green, 2:30 yellow, 3 minutes red. After 30 seconds, you will be disqualified from voting. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, moving on. Now I have the R counter. So the R counter for today's session is TM Mariam. Can you please explain your role?
Hi, I'll be your counter today. As an R counter, I will be noting down all your ums and reverse. At the end of the meeting, I'll present. Thank you.
Okay, moving on. Now I have the listener with me. Listener would be me, that is TM Hiba. So as a listener, I would be making note of all the interesting words and phrases spoken by the speaker during the table topic session and the prepared speeches session, and as well as the overall session. And at the end of the session, I would be calling out those words and phrases, and the audience will have to guess it. So now, for the last part, we have the joke master. Is the joke master here? Yam Junaid Javed. Okay, I think I'll deliver a joke myself because he's in there. Okay, after a crime, a detective noted that he thought it was foul play. The other detective said, "You mean he was playing with birds?" The last one. What did the bald man exclaim when he received a comb for a present? What did the bald man exclaim when he received a comb for a present? Thanks, I'll never part with it. Okay, now for the prepared speeches session, I'll call the first speaker, DTM Sarfaraz Nazir, for a speech, and I would like his evaluator, TM Kareem Meghani, to explain the objectives of the speech.
You're muted, Toastmaster Kareem.
TM Kareem, you're muted.
Or no, you're not audible. Maybe you should change the setting
Now?
or something. Yeah, now you are. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Toastmaster today. It's my honor to evaluate DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. It will be a very difficult task, I can imagine. So he's doing his visionary communication pathway, level 3, understanding your communication style. So he will be presenting a speech which is focused on stories and creating a speech that is a story. The member may use any type of story, personal, well-known fiction, or any of one of his or her own creation. For the timer, it is 5 to 7 minutes. The speech title is How to Be Miserable. How to Be Miserable. DTM Sarfraz Nazim.
Toastmaster Kareem and fellow Toastmasters, the agenda says the project Understanding Your Communication Style. The project is actually connecting with storytelling, not communication style, which was already given a couple of weeks ago.
I was reading.
But yeah, the title exact.
Okay, my apologies. I think I just missed it, I guess.
That's okay. But the Toastmaster Kareem mentioned correctly, the purpose is to use or tell a story within a speech.
I should have read the title also. Sorry.
Do you know someone who is always miserable? You might think that seems odd. Why would someone want to be miserable? But the fact is, there are millions of people in the world who are miserable and they love their daily misery. So how do you tell a person who is miserable? The one main quality that a miserable person has is they are wrapped up in themselves. They are like an island surrounded on all sides by themselves. If you ask them, how are you doing? You expect them to say, I'm fine, thank you, and go about the business. But oh no, when you say, how are you doing? They will give you their life story. They will tell you every problem that they have. These people seek and crave attention. They will become sick with diseases that have not yet been discovered. There is a Hindu proverb that says, the miserable are very talkative. Let me share with you a story about a person named Jamila. The person could be even Jamil. I'll let Jamila tell her own story. Last night, I went to Dolman Park for shopping. After I bought a lot of things in the mall, I went to the food court. I was hungry, so I went straight to Miss Chili. I had me a plate of aloo chaat, bel puri, and pani puri. Oh, I couldn't believe it. Each plate was 120 rupees. I remember a time when it was only 15 rupees. Plus, for 15 rupees, you got a real big plate. Now they give you a little bit plate. So after I ate all those items, I was still hungry. So then I had 3 pieces of New York style pizza. But that didn't fill me up. So I had to go to McDonald's. I had me a hamburger. And then I was thirsty, so I had me a strawberry shake. You might think that I ate too much, but I didn't think so. But something happened. I couldn't sleep too well that night. I kept hearing noises from my stomach. The next morning, my cook said, oh, Begum Sahiba, I found some fresh Moody's white carrots. So I made you Moody paratha. Oh, I love Moody parathas. So I had me a couple of Moody parathas. Oh, I shouldn't have had those. You know what happens when you eat Moody parathas? Oh, I sounded like, oh, the servant started laughing. I said, oh, hey, come back, don't laugh. This is no laughing matter. If you keep on laughing, I won't pay you this month. My stomach was upset. So I said, go to the defense market, Sunny Medico, and bring me some stomach medicine. He went there. He was gone for a long time. Then he came back and he brought headache medicine. I said, oh, come back. I don't have a headache. I have a stomach ache. Go back. and give this medicine back to them and bring me stomach medicine. He said, Begum Sahib, it's hot out there. Can I get the driver to take me? Oi, what do you mean driver take me? Have you seen the price of petrol? It's almost 160 rupees a liter. You go walk. It's good exercise for you. So he went and brought me some stomach medicine. Then I was so tired, I went to sleep in the afternoon. When I woke up, I had a big headache, migraine. By the way, I'm telling the story with integrity. I told my servant, go back to Sunny Medical and get me some headache medicine. He said, Begum Saba, this morning I brought you a headache medicine and you told me to take it back. Boy, that was morning. Now this is afternoon. Go get me some medicine. So he went and he was gone a long time. I don't know what these people do. These days you can't find good help. I pay them every month. I give them food. I give them a place to stay, but they still don't do good work. What happened to those days when we used to have nice people working for us? Anyway, he brought headache medicine. I took some headache medicine. Then I felt real good. So I called my friend, Hamida, and I told her all the problems I have. Hamida loves to listen to me. But I don't even know if Hamida really listens to me, because on the other end, sometimes I say, Hamida, are you still there? Are you there? She's not there. Fellow Toastmasters, next time you find someone who's miserable, all they're seeking is attention, say something nice to them, or better yet, look at your watch and say, oh, oops, sorry, Jamila, I'm late for my Toastmasters meeting, I have to go. And that's a good excuse for you. Now, there are thousands of motivational speakers around the world who will tell you how to be happy, how to be successful. Very few tell you how to be miserable. If you come across people that you don't like and you don't want to talk to them, when you see them and they ask you, how are you? Start telling them about all the problems of the world. Make up some problems, but make sure you talk with integrity. And you know, they will do the same thing. Oh, sorry, I have to go. I'm late for my Toastmaster meeting. Next time you're miserable, let me know. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
That was a wonderful and interesting speech. Okay, moving on. Now we have our second speaker, TM Fahim Razak, and I call upon his evaluator, TM Ghulam Qadir, to explain the objectives of the speech.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. So Toastmaster Fahim Razak will be giving a project from the Pathways Presentation Mastery, Level 2, Project 1. The project is Understanding Your Communication Style. The title of the speech is I Wish I Was There. The project timer, please note, it is for 5 to 7 minutes. And let me just explain the purpose of this project. The purpose of the project is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. Wish you good luck, Toastmaster Fahim Razak.
Let me state the obvious. And the obvious is the communication is a two-way street. People communicate to you, you communicate to people. Let me make another obvious statement, and that is 4 different styles of communication, ranging from direct through to initiative, through to analytical, and through to supportive. Direct means the person is very direct, he wants to get the job done, very ambitious, outspoken. Supportive means he is very calm, steady, taking his time, and approaching in a very friendly manner. Now, taking you back to my teenage years, because I want to communicate to you what is my communication style. There are 2 ways how I like people to communicate to me. I think I'm pretty clear on that. I want people to be polite, but to be direct with me. No soft stuff. If I'm wrong, just tell me straight, but in a polite manner. don't insult me, and I will take it nicely. For example, if I have done something bad at work, my performance is not good, I would like my boss to pull me in the meeting room, just tell me, Fahim, your work is not up to the standard. I would expect better from you. And I would like, sure, sir, tell me where I'm wrong, and I'll put it right. No problem, no hard feelings. I'll get the job done. But if the same person comes and tell me, Fahim, what have you done? A monkey could have done a better job. I'll be like, ooh, no offense to monkeys, sir, but I don't appreciate it. So that's very simple. I think I understand it. I can communicate to people. Look, that's please communicate it in this way. Polite, don't insult me. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow members, and distinguished guests. However, what is not so simple to me, and I have not understood it yet, is how I want to communicate to people, or how I should communicate to people. For example, when I was a teenager in my school years, I still remember, very shy, very reserved, not talking to many people. I had a close circle of friends. I would communicate to them, being surrounded by them. But if I had any feeling inside, I wouldn't want to give it out. Just on the fear of I might come across as unpolite or nervous or shy. So I'll just keep the feelings to myself, being resentful right inside me, won't take it out. But I was doing okay. As I said, I still had good circle of friends with me because I was nice to them. I was nice to others. They were okay to me as well. I was doing okay on the studies side, but something was missing. I was just like, I'm holding it inside. And that went on through my 20s, even through my early 30s. But again, it worked all right for me. I was doing the work. At the job, I was all right, performing okay. The people, again, around me, I had a close circle of colleagues, friends, workmates. Things were okay. But I was noticing something I am missing. For example, when it came to promotions, I was observing the trend that people who were outspoken, who knew what they wanted, and who wanted to just get it either one way, highway, or any other way, they will get it. And the people who just did their work, even though, I mean, to the best of the standards, they were somehow left behind or not progressing as fast. But again, I couldn't bring myself up to bring it out. Look, I have done all these things. You have not appreciated it, or this and that. Again, I thought my style, if I put it in one of the brackets of the communication style, I think that was probably supportive, a bit of analytical, perhaps a bit of initiative, but not direct. But I thought that was making me lose out on some of the things. Anyway, things went on. Again, I was all right. I couldn't complain too much. Job was okay, paying me okay. I was progressing just about at the regular intervals. And then I left the job. I started my own business not too long ago. Again, I came to Pakistan. I was looking for some suppliers for my products. And I was like, look, I really see the future for this product. I've known you're good in the market. Would you not supply me these products? Obviously, I will pay you as any other client would. So sure, sir, no problem. Come to the meeting. There I went. Okay, let's get down to the business. Our minimum quantity order is 12,000 dozen. What? 12,000 dozen? That's, if my math is correct, is around about 120,000 or more products. That equates to, in Pak rupees, about 3.5 crores. In US dollars, nearly $250,000. I was like, look at me. Do you think I have $250,000? But I have a $250,000 idea. And I'm sure that will make us both a little bit more wealthy than you currently are, but certainly a lot more wealthy than I currently am. Anyway, that didn't work out well with them. Look, this is the deal. Went to another supplier, same thing. It's like, what's going on? Then I was only left with the small pool of suppliers. Their quality wasn't that good. They were happy to take my order, but it wasn't nowhere where I wanted. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. Why can't the big companies take my order? It still feels to me that it's going to be worthwhile to them, because I am seeing the vision. I'm trying to give them the vision, things weren't working out. I had a lot inside me. I was like, again, this is not working out. This is not working out. I need to take my feelings out. I said to first supplier that I went before, look, we need to have a meeting. I think I can work with you. You want the quantity? I'll give you the quantity, no problem. Happy, sir, please come whenever you are free. Went there again. Right, I said, you know what? Do you know what I think? They said, okay, what do you think? I said, it's bonkers to expect your new client to give you the very first order of $250,000. How do you expect Pakistan to progress when you're not entertaining the new clients? All I'm going to end up doing is go to Bangladesh or any other country, get the products because they want to sell it to me. It's bonkers to expect your new client this, okay? If you don't want the order, that's okay. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go to neighboring country, that's it. You're going to lose it in the long term. Pakistan is going to lose it in the long term. I'm probably going to lose it. That worked? That did work. My direct style worked. I tried that direct style with my wife at home. We're still not on talking terms. So my thing is that it's not that simple. You have to tailor it to the situation. You cannot put yourself in one of the brackets. And that's my message to you guys. Tailor your communication style to the situation. Madam Toastmaster.
Okay, now we have another speaker, TM Mariam Aftab, and I would call upon her evaluator, TM Imran Rana, to explain the objectives of the speech. You
I
are
can
not
time this.
audible.
You're muted. You're muted, Toastmaster Imran, and I can time this.
But you got my point, what I want to say. Just a minute. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today Toastmaster Mariam Aftab Kidwai will be delivering the last project from level 3, and it is from electives, that is connect with the storytelling. The speech objectives are the purpose of this project for the member to practice using a story within a speech or giving a speech that is a story. Time duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Speech title, if I'm correct, You Are Beautiful. Toastmaster Mariam Arif is a very enthusiastic.
Sorry for that.
So, come again.
Those Mariam Arif is not available, sir.
Is Mariam
Okay.
Aftab?
Okay, sorry.
Mariam Israel is finished. That
Toastmaster-
speak is finished now.
Toastmaster Mariam Aftab.
Thank you, sir.
He's a very passionate Toastmaster. Put your hands together for Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. The stage is all yours.
Thank you so much. What is beauty? Have you ever encountered beauty yourself? Or who is beautiful in your eyes? Let me take you a short trip where I met beauty. Few weeks back, I went with my daughter to a mall where there were many children who were playing around in a play area. My daughter asked me, Mommy, can I please go and play there? I told her, Nabia, wait, we are waiting for daddy. Let daddy come and then you can go. By the way, she's my daughter. She said, no, mommy, I want to go, I want to go, I want to go. And I instantly said, okay, beta, let's go. While you play there, I'll sit there and I'll wait for your father. We agreed upon that. We went there. She was playing with her fellow mates. She met them for the first time. And I said, mommy, mommy, look, I made a friend here. And I said, wow, Anabia, hi, beta, how are you? She said, I'm fine, auntie. And then my daughter and her friend start talking. Oh, she's your mommy? Yes, she's my mommy. She's waiting for my daddy. My daddy is coming. I said, Anabia, please don't tell the whole story here. And then I asked her, where's your mommy? And she said, oh, she's out somewhere. I usually come here. She just dropped me off here for some time and then she'll be coming soon. And I was just thinking, okay, maybe that's her routine. And then my daughter and her friend started talking. Oh, wow, you come here every day. Yes, I come here every day. How's your mommy? Oh, she's beautiful. The girl explained. Her hairs are wavy and long. I like to play with her hairs. I put my fingers down her hairs and then come down. I make up her cheeks. I put a pink blush on her hairs, on her cheeks. They're so soft. While they were talking and she was explaining the beauty of her mother, I being on the other side, the mother word, feeling jealous, feeling incompetent, feeling a little scared. I don't know what my daughter is thinking about. But she was explaining her beauty in her eyes, her skin, her hands, my God, what not, was making me feel a little scared. Little scared of what? Of being judged by my daughter. What she'll describe me as. When they were talking, I was just thinking, oh, before her mother arrived, I wish my husband came and we go out of here. I don't want to face that. I don't know what I was thinking at that time, but that was very natural. Just waiting for my husband, looking at the door, may he come soon. I saw many people were coming from that side, but my eyes stuck on that one person who was lanky fellow, very thin and she was wearing a bag that was very heavy, and I can sense that heaviness is because she was just holding that like this. While holding that like this, she was walking. She don't have time to just make her hairs. It was all coming out. Her hands were full. She was just wearing a very normal dress. By her appearance, I don't know what that catches me. I was looking at her. I was just thinking how hard her life. While looking at her, I just saw that she looked at me back. Like every other Pakistani, I just turned my eyes like this. Like I was not even looking at her. Normal. And I was just making her faces like this, like, no, I'm just waiting for someone. No, not you. And I saw her coming to me. And I said, oh my God. Maybe she just not asked me why you were looking at me and all different stuff. Different types of questions I was not preparing. Suddenly she came and I just looked at her and I just heard her voice, mommy, my mommy is here. And suddenly I just looked at her, the same lady that I perceive as Lanky Fellow was the same beautiful woman that a mother that the girl was describing. Isn't that same or different? In that one moment, I had a hard slap that was just flesh on my face. That was that no one can see that. But that was on my soul edge. Why and what on the earth I was thinking of beauty. What is beauty? Is that one that the girl was describing as a mother, or the one that I saw myself? That was the same person. That the girl was describing as most beautiful, and I was experiencing. I don't want to say that word, but yes, not beautiful. The same person that I was jealous of, the same person was that one that I was thinking, oh my God, she's such a hardworking woman. Pity. But in that moment, I realized what makes the other person beautiful. And what is beauty? Is such a skin tone, the skin color, or just some facial hairs and something hairs, the style of a hair, the curly, straight, that makes the person beautiful? Is that the eyes that makes the person beautiful? Or the person you are living with is beautiful? For her mother was beautiful because she has those traits in her personality that has built all her heart. That was a mother. She was a mother. She was not another ordinary person that I was looking at. We all are beautiful. Isn't your mother is beautiful? Your sister, your wife? They are. Because they are beautiful in your eyes. That's why beauty as lies in the eyes of the world. I truly believe in it. Thank you. And over to you.
Okay, moving on. Now we have our next speaker, TM Karim Meghani, who will be evaluated by TM Adi Ashar Anjum. So TM Adi Ashar Anjum, can you please explain the objectives of the speech?
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Khan. So our next speaker is Toastmaster Karim Meghani on his pathway of strategic relationship, level 5, and on the project of serving in the volunteering organization. The purpose of this project is for the member to apply the skill needed to successfully lead in a volunteer organization. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share some aspect of his experience serving as a leader in a volunteer organization. So over to you, to Toastmaster Karim Meghani, and best of luck for your speech. The time duration is 5 to 7 minutes. Over to you, Toastmaster Karim.
When you talk about leadership, where I always go to the basics, what is the basics of leadership? What is the why, when I started the leadership in my life? It's the one thing I always want to see, that I want to go back to my basics. And the basics starts when the first time I understand about leadership. When I lead personally something, and it's a long, long time ago, because when I become a leader, I was very young. Toastmaster of the day, dear Toastmasters and guests, this is a story which started going back to my youth age. When I was a 15-year-old, my parents thought that why don't I spend my time for some extracurricular activities. So they were looking for some opportunities. Like us, these days, we are looking for some music classes, some camps, some scouts or something like this. In our community, there was a group called NCG. The group name is Noble Children Group. And what they used to do, they bring all these kids who are interested with a very nominal fees, and they have volunteer teachers who are like 21, 22 years old. And their responsibility is to teach us not academic, but we play games, we play sports. Every Sunday afternoon from 3 to 5, we go there and then we enjoy our time. I enjoy our Sundays. I remember I played my best cricket innings in the NCG match. And you know what? I was wearing a jacket like this because I always wanted to wear a jacket there from my whole life. And I was wearing a suit and I played cricket. And the team said that, Kareem, now we need someone to bat. I don't know, you can bat. So you can go and play. And first ball, 4, second ball, 4, third ball, 4, 4 ball, 4, and fifth ball, bowled. That's all my life. So that was my experience of NCG, that confidence of hitting the balls. And then I remember 15, 16, 2 years of my life, I learned a lot. Never participated in a drama, but participated in some singing competitions. But every Sunday was a pleasure. It was a wonderful time. But then, stopped everything. We went to college. Our life changed. We were like, when I reached to 2021, now I'm coming back to the community. And one day, I met some of my colleagues of NCG, my team members, probably from the same cricket match. I said, now we are 20s, 21, now we are young. Is NCG still exist? I said that it is exist, but the interest is gone. Some teachers are gone. There is an issue. I said, why don't we create our own junior league? We create a league where we bring the kids, and the same idea, we use it. And I took part of the leadership role in that. I called the guy, one of my best friends, who was a very good administrator in one of the schools also. He was working there. I said that, you're a good administrator. On Sunday, why don't we join 3-4 people? We can tell the community, we can run a club. Similar to the Toastmaster club, something very voluntary. We don't want money. We don't want anything. We just want to enjoy because we enjoyed a lot from NCG. So we given that group a name, Aliabad, because the area where we were living, Aliabad Junior League, AJL. I met my wife there. My wife was one of the facilitators there also. And we created this group of these young boys and girls and of all these ages from 12 years to 16 years, these boys and girls, let's work with them. We become parents of these kids. And that was such a lovely experience. But there was a lot of leadership challenges. I need to manage my time now. When I'm organizing, when I'm serving back to the community, it's not easy. I learned how to manage finances, how to manage this club when I have to do administration. I need the kids to be secure. Where we will take them for the sports? Should we take to them garden? We have the parents' permission. We need to do music, so we have instruments. Do we want to do drama? Do we want to do some other activities? And then we start planning. Ladies and gentlemen, that whole experience taught me one thing, that leadership is not easy. It needs so much ingredients. When you're taking it in a voluntary capacity, imagine we didn't have funds, only the idea. Idea because we were from NCG, we learn a lot and we want to give back to the community. That was a fantastic 3 years of my life. I remember 3 years, I was the convener of Aliabad Junior League. And our team is still connected. We trained so many kids. We love that kids. We arrange everything. And we tried our best to provide whatever voluntary service we can provide to them. Today, somebody from Junior League alumni talked to me on Facebook. Karim sir, you remember? We played games together. We played drama together. We played music together. That was an achievement. But one learning. Same mistake the NCG did and we didn't do. We did the same. We didn't have a succession planning. After 2 years, when I went to Saudi Arabia. I found a job there. And then I called there. Is the Junior League exist? And the guy said, no, it phased out. You guys went and everything phased out. Ladies and gentlemen, this whole story told me the leadership is all about giving back to the community. I learn a lot from it. And voluntary service, that's fantastic. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Now for the next speaker, PM Wase Ahmed. I would like to call upon his evaluator, DPM Talha bin Hamid, to explain the objectives of the speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. Toastmaster Wase Ahmed will be delivering the first project from his pathway, which is dynamic leadership. And everybody knows that the first project is Icebreaker. In the Icebreaker, a speaker is supposed to introduce themselves to the club and get used to the idea of public speaking. The members completing his or her first speech in Toastmasters, the goal of the evaluation is to give the members an effective evaluation of his or her speech and delivery style. Because the Icebreaker is the first project a member completes, you may choose to use only the notes section and not the numerical score. So we are instructed to keep a light hand, and also we expect all of us to know the speaker better by the end of the speech. So everyone, please put your hands together for someone who has been very enthusiastically participating in the meetings, and I've been seeing him. He has been giving us his full attention for months, but today he breaks the ice. Over to you, and everyone, please put your hands together for Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. Struggling my way through, Toastmaster Wase Ahmed.
Am I audible to everyone? Okay. It was an extraordinary day for me as I stood outside principal's office. No, not this time like this. My chest was puffed out. I had a bright smile. My hands carried 2 trophies. As soon as the principal came out of her room, I informed her, my team, my society has won an inter-school mind sports tournament. We got 2 positions. My principal said, that's a great news. You must tell this information to the whole school at the morning assembly. Fellow Toastmasters, I want to ask you here that raise your hands if ever public speaking made you sweat profusely. That day, as I stood in front of the mic, facing over 1,000 people, my legs started trembling. My chest that once was puffed out, contracted. My voice refused to leave my throat. I started and I forgot. I started again. I fumbled. I struggled my way through and I eventually made it. As soon as I was stepping down the stage, I realized one thing, that I didn't do justice to my team members' moments. Let me take you to another event. This time, it was my society's time to organize an inter-school tournament. It was named as Mind Boggle. It had 3 games, namely chess, Scrabble, and speed cubing. I was leading a team of 40 members with to cater over 200 participants. One may argue, if I am not good at communication, how was I handling them? It was simple. I was using a proxy. But this time I had a problem. I cannot use a proxy at the closing ceremony. But I had a strategy, a clear strategy. And that was that I'll simply read through. But here, I want to ask you all again, that how many of you have blundered at the most crunchiest moments? I forgot to write the speech. And I realized this with just half an hour left to the closing ceremony. So I delegated this task to my fellow team member, and she managed to write it and WhatsApp me just 5 minutes before my turn. So when this time I came to the podium, I took out my phone and started reading. It was all going great until a line read, I don't know the further details. From here onwards, you have to add on your own. I raised my eyes, looked at the audience. I forgot what I was speaking. I fumbled again. I again fumbled. I struggled my way through and I made it. And this time again, when I was stepping down the stage, I realized that it was a not so good ending to a really good event. So fellow Toastmasters, today I am here. So next time when the opportunity knocks at my door, I don't struggle my way through it, but conquer it. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the day.
Wonderful icebreaker by TM Vase. And now for the last speech of the day, DTM Talha bin Hamid, who will be evaluated by TM Fahim Razak. So TM Fahim Razak, can you please explain the objectives of the speech?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Our next speaker needs no introduction, and he's, of course, distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid, our current president of Karachi Toastmaster, district director of District 122. His project is Understanding Your Communication Style from Level 2 Dynamic Leadership. The purpose of his project, just with me.
Same as yours.
Yeah, that's right, and I can't remember what was mine. I just had it open. Okay. So the purpose of his speech is for the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. The speech length is going to be 5 to 7 minutes. The title of his speech is The Silver Lining. The Silver Lining, Talha bin Hamid. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome distinguished Toastmaster Talha bin Hamid. Over to you, sir.
Am I audible and visible? All right. It was the dead of the night. A group of 4 men and 4 women sneaked through the desert. When they arrived at a certain point, obscured by a ledge, they sat down. They held large bags in their hand. They started rummaging through those bags furiously and throwing things out. I picked up my bag and rummaged through it. And what I saw was a silver lining. Yahoo! Fellow Toastmasters and guests, in 2013, I found myself on a flight to Mecca for Hajj. During the flight, I started talking with my fellow passenger. His name is Aftab. Since I was traveling through the government scheme, there were no groups as such. Instead, the entire flight was considered as one group and they traveled together. So when we arrived at our hotel in Azizia, I moved to my assigned room. It was a huge hall with 10 or 12 other men in the room. I tried to get some sleep, but I could not sleep. So I ventured out of the room, and guess who I ran into? Aftab. Thanks to my initiating communication style, I greeted him warmly. And thinking that our brief airplane acquaintance was the acquaintance of a lifetime, I asked him where he was staying and how were things going with him and his mother who had accompanied him to the flight. As we started talking, he made me an offer I could not refuse. He said, "Why don't you move in with our quarters? Because here you are lonely, you don't know anyone. There, at least you will know one person." And once again, my initiating style, which is energetic and positive, took over. And I agreed. Soon I found myself with a party of 4 men and 4 women, the latter being the wives or mothers of the former. When it came time to travel to Mina, we were instructed to pack lightly. We were told that you just need to pack a spare ihram and a few personal supplies. Everything else will be available for you when you reach to your camps. And yet, everyone started packing huge bags. But I was wise. I just packed a tiny duffel bag. And I know a duffel bag is not tiny, but by other standards, it was. All it had was 2 spare ihram, 3 spare jayanamas, and for some reason, 5 bottles of water. So, picking up my bag along with our party, we made it to Mina. After 2 or 3 days of traveling here and there, it dawned on the team that the baggage was too much and it had to be dumped. So we traveled into the dead of the night like a gang of gangsters, and we picked up our bags and started dumping the contents out of the sight of the guards and other people. I opened up my bag and I saw a silver lining, a tube of toothpaste. And that's when it clicked. All I needed was my toothpaste and toothbrush. Everything else was there. So I screamed and I furiously emptied the contents and I ended up with this. Light as a feather, flying like an angel on the desert floor. Too bad my initiating communicating style made my delight too obvious. For my fellow Aftab spied me.
And he said, "Oh, you have seemed to have gotten rid of all your luggage. Can you hold something for me just for 2, 3 days? Because my mother can't seem to get rid of her baggage. She has to have all those utensils, extra clothes, extra sheets, extra blankets, and 4 extra sets of ihram." And when you are at Hajj, and when you have an initiating communicating style, rather than a direct communicating style, you don't say no. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, behold what I ended up with. This beast of burden that I carried for the next 4 days. And while everyone else spent their entire time supplicating, I spent my entire time cursing the moment when I met Aftab. Thanks to this bag, I lost both my pairs of glasses because the straps made them fall. And when something falls during Hajj, you never find it back. I was virtually blind for the last 3 weeks of my Hajj. But then I did not say a word to the offending party. Instead, I kept carrying it and carrying it and carrying it. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, when I told this tale of woe to my friend, he said, "All right, did you say anything to Aftab? Did you complain?" And I said, "No." He said, "So you were in pain and misery and you had lost sight and you did not say a word?" And I told him, "Yes, I said a lot of choice words which do not belong anywhere near Mecca, but not in person, not to anyone." And he said, "Congratulations, your Hajj is accepted." Fellow Toastmasters and guests, sometimes your communication style can bring pain and misery, but trust me, there is always a silver lining. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Okay, now I would like to ask the timer, have all the prepared speakers qualified?
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the day. There's one speaker who was little over time and he took 7 minutes and 31 seconds, and that speaker is Toastmaster Fahim Razak.
Okay. Other than that, all the other speakers are qualified.
Let the president decide.
You said 7 minutes and 31 seconds, right?
Yes.
All right. In light of the speech that I just made, I believe we can let that go. So, so I'll be floating the poll very soon.
Okay, so now we are going to move to the second segment of the session, that is the table topic session. So I would like to call upon the table topic master for the day, that is TM Ghulam Kadir. So over to TM Ghulam Kadir. This virtual stage is yours.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Hiba. As explained by Toastmaster Hiba, the theme of today is summer memories. So the table topics have been designed according to that as well. So I have been asked to keep the table topics to 3 to 4. So let me try to find who should be the first one to go for the topic. So may I please request Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim. Please unmute your mic and open your camera so that I may assign you the first topic. Yes, Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim, thank you very much. So Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim, as you must have heard that the theme is summer memories. And your topic for today will be, have you ever traveled in summers? Please tell us about your trip. Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim, Stage is yours. Your topic, you need to restrict it to the 2.5 minutes. So you can keep your speech between 1 minute and 2 minutes 30 seconds.
All right. Thank you very much, Table Topic
Please
Master.
unmute your mic. Yes. Please
Yes. Am I audible and visible? Am I audible and visible,
Yes,
sir?
you are. Yes, you are.
All right. So thank you very much for assigning this topic. And I would say I've definitely traveled in my summers. And it was back in the first time I have ever traveled was I was in grade 5, where where we traveled to Islamabad. And it was my summer vacation, and I was in grade 5. And it was the very first time I was traveling in train while we were going to Islamabad, and we came back from an aeroplane. So moreover, it was a very memorable trip because it was the very first time I was traveling in train and via air, and moreover, I still remember the day when the vacation went over and we went to school. Everyone started questioning, have you been there, or have you gone to your vacations anywhere or some any place? So I had to say, yeah, I went to Islamabad because my Baba's cousin was getting married and we went there. So it was basically the very memorable, because we were sat in a group and everyone was discussing, we went there, we went, to Lahore or any other place. So I said, yes, I also went to Islamabad. You know what? And finally we got our visa as well. And everyone stopped for a moment and start looking, each like there and there. I was wondering what's even happening. And then I realized when I came back home that you don't have to have a visa for Islamabad, basically. I was too young to understand those things. I was just being cool. I just said, I went to Islamabad and got a visa. So this is the most memorable summer trip I had back in grade 5. Thank you very much. Over to Table Topic Master.
Excellent speech by Toastmaster Zara Ibrahim. So next, may I please invite Toastmaster Imran Rana? You there? Yes. Please unmute your mic. Okay, so topic which I'll be assigning you: what childhood memories you have in summers? What childhood memories you have in summers? Stage is yours, Toastmaster Imran.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, childhood memory. As I mentioned in my icebreaker speech, that we were 9 brothers and 2 sisters, and almost we had a team called Rana 11. So you can imagine, once you have so many brothers, so you can have number of childhood memories. We used to play cricket. We used to when we used to have Friday is an off day. We used to go out with all my brothers, and we used to play Chor Pakadam Sati in Urdu. And I was so good at running. I really love to run very fast. And now I can see my son and imagine myself that yes, I had that habit, and that habit transferred from my genes. And whenever we had a fight, you know what, we always flock together and beat that person very badly, and next time he never ever fight us again. In fact, he became our ally and help us to conquer the other areas. So number of childhood memories, and you can imagine with Rana 11 we did lot of mischievous things. So I cannot say one memory. I had a lot of memory. So over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Oh, that was a lovely story, Toastmaster Imran. So last table topic of the day, and we cannot have table topics without Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. So Toastmaster Mariam,
Yes.
Please unmute your mic. And your
Thank you.
topic is, do you think that we should get summer holidays at workplace as well? Just like
Yes,
school?
please.
So
Yes,
please, the
please.
topic is yours. The stage is yours.
We need that. Well, let me tell you, vacations and holidays means relaxation. And that does not pertain to one's office and holidays and all, school holidays, but it also pertain the sense of relief you feel at home. And yeah, you won't believe that for 2 weeks, I was enjoying my summer holidays. I call this summer holidays because my family, my husband and my 2 kids were in Karachi and I was here in Dubai. I had a good time. And now it's miserable. I don't know what to do and how to do because I was enjoying my time a lot. That was my holiday. And yes, we should get them from office also. I feel that holidays are the things that where you can feel relaxed, happy, and enjoy your time. That's the best thing one could do, one should do, and one let the other person do. That's the whole thing. And yes, I want that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mariam Aftab Kidwai. So that brings the end to the table topic session for today. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Timer, have all the speakers qualified? Are all the speakers qualified?
Yes, all the speakers are qualified, but if you want, we can have few more because the total time allowed is 15 minutes and we just had only 5 minutes. So 10 minutes left.
Okay.
If you want to call
Okay, great. So
speakers.
if we have time, so may I please invite, who would like to volunteer now? Because we don't have guests in the meeting.
Call Toastmaster
Anybody?
Wahid.
Wahed, okay. Toastmaster Wahed, you there with us?
Yes,
Please.
I am.
Please unmute yourself and open your camera. Right. So which is your favorite food in summers and why?
Okay. Regarding the summertime and all the seasons, my favorite food is biryani with a lot of mirchi, which I have inherited. And the liking of that from Pakistan, Karachi. And I really like that, which is really problematic sometimes, but it is really useful and valuable to try it sometimes. And apart from that, drinking some beverages like Coca-Cola and cold drinks are also some of my favorites in summertime. Well, I remember once that I was going to Karachi in summertime, and there are some rivers in Balochistan district, and the roads that, 20 years ago were really in a very bad position. So when we got there, usually we reached to Karachi in 2 days, but when at that time the rivers were blocked because of the flood, so we were there for a week. So when we were there, I was eating biryani and cold drinks, drinking cold drinks. So that is the memory which I brought with me, and it was in summertime. That's why I always remember that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So for the next topic, may I please invite Toastmaster Ali, DTM Ali Ashar Anjum. DTM, you there? Okay, fine. So DTM, Ali Ashar Anjum, since you are, mashallah, very young, and definitely you would like to spend some time with your friends. So any memory with your friends in the summer you would like to share with us?
I guess summer in Karachi, it is quite hot here, but I think that is the beauty of this city. And being young, I always in summers we always do have a plan to go to beach and saw uh, and see the, the dawn, the, the, the sunrise or the sunset. And I think that the with the passage of time, and usually we were he when I was 16, 17, it was disturbing. But I think now that activity is quite regenerating for me, and to help me to recharge myself, and it also help me help all of us, my friend, get integrated again after doing our course of or the daily routine work. So I guess yes, that summers in Karachi is always spacious. We have usually we have picnic plans towards huts, towards farmhouses, and I think this is a part of life of every three Karachiites here, that we all get integrated, made plans, and it's usually the 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 was a date of summer or summer vacation when the school used to get off, and we all were anticipating for that 2 months of June and July. So over to the Toastmaster of the tabletop master.
Thank you very much, all the Toastmasters, for having a nice table topic session today. So it's over from my side. I hand over the charge to Toastmaster of the day.
Okay. Moving on, are the rest of the speakers qualified timer?
Yes, all the speakers are qualified.
Okay. Now we'll move on to the third part of the session. That is the general evaluation. And I would now like to call upon the general evaluator for the day, that is CM Ali Ashar Anjum. CM Ali Ashar Anjum, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator, sorry, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Evaluator. So I am the General Evaluator for today, and I just want to connect with that respecting our heritage. You know that in our society or any society, the generations are the beauty. It helps you to see your past, present, and future. And we have to respect them. Our elders, our children, the people of our generations, because all of them are for us. They are going to make us realize that how important we are, and they also help us to regenerate, to reflect on our mistakes. So this segment of Toastmasters is like elder, someone who is going to make you realize, okay, you have done this thing, but you can do this thing better. And here comes our evaluation segment. And evaluation cannot be in our daily lives, our evaluators are usually our elders who have spent uh, uh, a massive amount of time towards life. So let's move towards our first segment of evaluation, and that is of the prepared speech. And to commence that segment, I would like to invite my first prepared evaluator, and he is Toastmaster Kareem Haider Ali Mugani, and he is going to evaluate distinguished Toastmasters Sarfaraz Naseem. So over to you, Toastmaster Kareem Ali Mugani.
Thank you, DTM Ali Asher. My target speaker today was DTM Samir, and this is a really tough task to evaluate. DTM Sarfaraz, sorry. It's a really tough task to evaluate such a speaker. His objectives was to tell a story, and what a story. What a story he shared with us about miserable people. I have to look at to the internet, I have to Google it to just to evaluate you. Then what are the story components usually? So I learned something today because from your speech, I went to Google and I searched how to develop a story. So the 5 components of story is the character, the setting, the plot, the conflict, and the resolution. So you had characters, you had a good setting that you introduce us about a miserable character, who are the miserable people, the qualities of miserable. You ask about life stories, you let us think and reflect, find the miserable people in our lives. And then, when you start your story and talking about miserable characters, and you talked about how they behave, we start reflecting on people who interacted with us. So that's a wonderful achievement that, you are able to make that imagination in our brain. All of us, we start thinking about one miserable character who used to do this. Then in the end, you concluded that how to avoid these miserable characters. We have a Toastmaster meeting, just finish it now, stop your story and let's go. So that was a wonderful conclusion. I was just thinking that what to tell you that, your voice modulation was fantastic. The way you shown your emotions, it's always something to learn from. We learn a lot from you. When you make a certain sound, when you make a stomach sound, I feel really in Ramadan we all have these sounds also. So that's something, that was a fantastic thing. I think the body language was good. Your speech formation was perfect. It was humorous. There are characters. There was a conclusion. I think I didn't find something to add on it, that it can make more improve on it. Maybe I don't know that you are thinking to stand up and making a move here and there. Maybe that will create the story more attractive. But I think otherwise the story was perfect. So DTM Sarfaraz, you are always an honor to listen to you, and we would love to listen to you again and again. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Kareem Mugani, for your wonderful evaluation of DTM Sarfaraz Naseem. Now let's move towards our second speaker, and it was Toastmaster Fahim Raza. And I request Toastmaster Ghulam Khala to please come and evaluate him. So over to you, Toastmaster Ghulam Khala.
Thank you very much, General Evaluator. So Toastmaster Fahim, let me start with your speech as to how it was written. And in my opinion, it was very well written. It was very well drafted. It was The opening was pretty good. And then there were 3 stories totally. And lastly, there was a humor as well. So overall, if I may I comment on the structure of your speech. So the structure was opening, a perfect body, and a perfect closing. So hats off to you for that as well. So you started off with by explaining 4 types of communication styles, so that audience may be able to know as to what sort of communication styles are there. And then you explained as to what sort of communication style you have. That is a direct communication. And but you mentioned with a condition that please be direct, but be polite to me. So that's what I really liked about it. Yes, because in direct communication, what usually happens is that people speak out in such a manner that it usually offends the person who is on the other side. So you have a direct communication with some sort of conditions. You explained, you started off with the first story, like that you explained that your interaction with your boss, and then you explained that please tell me my mistakes in this manner and don't insult me, don't shout on me, or don't ridicule me, like comparing me with the monkeys and all that. So that's a perfectly a good example, especially in our workplaces. Then you moved on with how the things go in the office environment, how in the corporate world regarding the transfers, promotions, and getting success. And you were not able to get that success and promotions because of that you were not direct with your bosses. The same thing had happened to me in my life in one era as well, where I was not getting promoted. And then somebody came to me and told me that, listen, JQ, even the mother does not feed the child if the child does not cry, right? So that stayed in my mind, and I also adopted that sort of a communication style, usually in my promotions and my bonuses and my salary increment as well. So then you moved on with another example regarding the 12,000 dozens of and your interaction with the suppliers. A very good story, and we really liked it. Lastly, there was a punchline and a good humor regarding don't be direct with your wife, otherwise you'll face consequences. So overall, a pretty good speech. The only 2 areas which I would recommend, and I think they were missing today. I have seen those 2 areas in your speeches, but I believe those were missing regarding this use of stage and your voice modulation. Overall, 100% marks to you. Very good speech. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Gulab Kader, for your very, very comprehensive and very good and cogent and feedback on his speech. Now let's move towards our next speaker, and she was Toastmaster Mariam Aftab Kidwai, and she is going to be evaluated by our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Imran. So over to you, Toastmaster.
Okay, before that, I request DT and Talha to please do the timings. And please confirm that I'm audible and visible. Okay, so fellow Toastmasters and guests, today Toastmaster Mariam Aftab Kidwai delivered a wonderful speech with a wonderful speech titled, You Are Beautiful. You started with a question that eventually grabs the audience attention. That is the beautiful way to start with. And then you beautifully delivered a wonderful speech with a thought-provoking message that beauty lies in the eyes of others. Either you are not so beautiful in someone's eyes, but you are beautiful in the eyes of those who love you a lot. What I like about the speech was the way you delivered the speech. It was beautiful. Then you brought a vocal variety. You know, the best thing of storytelling is that you have to have a good vocal variety you have to have a good gestures to to deliver a wonderful story, and that and all those qualities were there. Initially, your vocal variety was amazing when you were acting out the baby's voice that was perfectly there. Uh, that really create an interest to engage us, to engross us in your speech. Okay, what I observed that when you were using your hands gestures, open hand gestures, that create a good impact, but sometimes you clasp them. That shows the nervousness. So avoid doing that. In the end, you use that. Thank you so much. Please don't use that word, because we should be the one who should thank you for delivering such a wonderful or a beautiful speech. When the story moves at the end, your vocal variety was quite low and it was difficult for me to understand. So so it should be maintained throughout the speech and according to the flow of speech. Overall, a wonderful speech with a wonderful message. Sorry, a beautiful speech with a beautiful message. Toastmaster Mariam Aftab Kidwai, you delivered a beautiful speech. So hats off to you and congratulate you in advance for completing everything. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Imran Rana, for your very insightful evaluation of Toastmaster Mariam Aftab's speech. The next speaker was Toastmaster Kareem Vidani, and he is going to be evaluated by Dashing Toastmaster Ali Anju. So I'm the Dashing Toastmaster. So the speaker, Toastmaster Kareem Ali Mecca. I must say that you are a brilliant speaker, an amazing and eloquent speaker. You know how to mesmerize people. You know how to express your ideas. You know how to draft your ideas into a speech and story. And you always build anticipation among audience whenever you speak. Your stories are your own experiences, and that is a great. And we all learn from them. So your project was to express or discuss your leadership experience in an volunteering organization. So I must say that your compassion for volunteerism is a very good. That was I experienced that thing during your speech. I felt that zest, enthusiasm, zeal when you speak about your plan, about your restlessness, that how you want people to get the same experience that you had before. You are a great leader. You know how to gather the team, integrate the team, and you have a great sense of integrity that you just so, so, said that, except that you don't have a succession plan for that thing. But I think that you can have some recommendation regarding it. How you can challenge yourself. You have a great live. You are a great speaker. You know how to engage the audience. But I think that as we are watching you for last 2 years. So I think that you can rearrange your structures and also go play with the pace and the length of the sentences. Usually, your sentences are too short. You can come up with a variety of long sentences and the short sentences that will increase your vocal variety and the 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 liberate some unique delivery whenever you speak. So that's all from my side, and congratulations for completing your project. Over to the DTM Evaluator. So now let's move towards our next speaker, and our next speaker was one whose heart pulses soared towards 153 during delivering his icebreaker. But I can guarantee that your icebreaker melt our hearts. So to evaluate our deputy speaker, Toastmaster Vasem, I would like to call the president of Karachi Toastmaster Club, distinguished Toastmaster, and also dashing DTM Talabin Ham.
Toastmaster Waffle. Are you freaking kidding us? Was that your icebreaker? Was that your first speech? It was scarcely believable. And it was an experience. You had a sophisticated start where you started right in the middle of an interesting story. And that is a technique that we tend to use in quite advanced levels rather than icebreakers. You had great gestures and absolutely stunning body language. In fact, I would go out on a limb and say that you had amongst the best body language displayed today in all speeches. You had absolutely amazing eye contact to the extent that we forgot that we were looking at you through a screen and you were coming right through to us. And I have noticed that every time, even when we're attending meetings without participating, you're very active and communicative in terms of your body language. And today that shown through as well. You had great flow, amazing language, you had great story and fantastic transitions. In fact, your transitions were very sophisticated, and once again, they did not belong anywhere in an icebreaker. So I'm seriously doubting your integrity now. I believe that you have been doing speeches somewhere else, and now you're just pretending that you are breaking the ice. But consider that a compliment, all right? And what's more, we saw your confidence, your amazing level of confidence in not only who you are, but what you had to tell us. So it was a fantastic experience overall. Over to the improvement areas. Again, it seems ridiculous, but your improvement areas are some that would be said to a speaker at maybe level 3 or 4. So slight lack of vocal variety, not saying that it wasn't there, it was there, but it could have been more amplified. Secondly, and I know I'm not the language evaluator or grammarian for today, but you suffered a major grammatical issue at your punchline, which was how many of you have blundered at the something. It could have been how many of you have faltered at crunch time, something like that, because that was the central point of your speech. Maybe you stumbled there, or maybe it was written that way, but it could have been improved a little bit. It took some impact away
from that climax. You had a very stylish conclusion. It was minimalist, it was elegant, it was not overstuffed, it was simple, but it was effective. But it was all too brief. Maybe conclusion could be a little longer. And finally, we did not learn a lot of background information about you, though we got to know who you actually are. So it is paradoxical. Overall, absolutely fantastic icebreaker with just some lack of background information and vocal variety. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster Ahmed. Am I audible? Okay, so now let's move towards our last speaker, and he is Mr. Toastmaster Ahmed. And evaluating him, I would like to call all our last evaluator, Toastmaster Fahim Razak. So over to you, Toastmaster Fahim Razak.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. You know, in the last week, I evaluated, was it DTM Sarfaraz Nazir? And my first comment was, if it's not an impossible task, it's a very difficult task. The same applies to you, DTM Talha bin Ahmed. You know, on Toastmaster, when you go, it gives you the evaluation resources. It tells you what to look out for in the speaker. It might as well ask us the name of the speaker that you are going to be evaluating. And when we put your name, I think all it should come up with good luck. Okay? Because in your speech, we had everything: the art of storytelling, the structure, the voice modulation, the stage movement, the connection with the audience. Everything was there right from the start. You kept us captivated with, not only because your topic was Hajj, right? Your topic was Hajj. It just got us hooked. But the way you started it in the aeroplane, bang onto your project, which was understanding your communication style. You went in my initiating style. You told us. You didn't tell us directly, but you told us subtly. Okay. And then how that communication style helped you throughout your journey. You went to Mecca. You ended up with 12 men in a room, but then you came out of it. You ended up with 8 people, 4 women, 4 men, simply because of your communication style. It took you from one place to another in a progressive way. And then your title of the speech was Silver Lining. So you went to that camp, you had packed your stuff, and then you wanted to throw out a few things to make it even lighter. So you went there, you opened your bag, and the silver lining was there. I've never seen anyone being so enthusiastic when they've seen the toothbrush and the toothpaste, but we could imagine why was the case in the camp when there were so many thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands of people. So that again, you kept us captivated throughout it. And the conclusion, again, the silver lining. You ended up, instead of taking a light bag, just a small one, you ended up with big duffel bag. Okay, and then again, the silver lining that the rewards are there for you in the end. Now, coming to your improvement points, is, as I said, it's an unsurmountable task to come up with any improvement point in your speech. But if I must, we would have liked to know what happened between you and after that Hajj trip. How you guys have got along with him. Have you just fallen out completely? Did he call you? Did you call him? Did you ever met anywhere? So perhaps we would have liked to know about a little bit. But apart from that, hats off to you, sir. Back to you, DTM Aliya Sharanjam.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster. So now it's time for the second sub-segment of my segment, and that is of reports from the role holders. So our first role holder.
Ask for the qualification.
Yes. So Mr. Hammer, is anyone qualified?
I'm not pleased to inform that there's one evaluator who's the general evaluator. Other than that, everyone is qualified. He took 3 minutes and 36 seconds.
Okay, that's great. So, would counter, please.
Decision of this will be by vote.
3 minutes and 36 seconds.
So, I request vote counter to please float the vote for the all qualified evaluators.
What's happening?
Okay, I was voting. Let's find out. So, as we done with the speech evaluation segment, so let's move to the role holders and
Table topic evaluation.
oh yes, sorry. So, yes, we also have the table topic evaluation, and for that, I would like to invite another DTM, distinguished Toastmaster, Sir Sarfaraz Nazi. Over to you, sir.
You are on mute, sir.
Unmute yourself, sir.
I was practicing. Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator and fellow Toastmasters. It is my honor to evaluate our table topics in today's meeting. I've noticed that when we give prepared speeches, most of us stand up so we can show at least our body up to the waist. And while we are standing, we might also have some facial expressions and gestures, our hands move around. But when we're asked to respond to a tabletopper's question, something happens to us. Usually we are sitting down, motionless in many cases, very few facial expressions or no expressions at all, very little gestures. So let me tell you what I thought about today's table topic session. Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir used the theme of the meeting, and that was very good. I like that, where the table Toastmaster uses the theme rather than coming up with general questions. Our first respondent was Toastmaster Zahra Ibrahim. Have you traveled in summer? She did answer the question, because she talked about when she was in the 5th grade, she traveled to Islamabad. She also tried to put some humor about getting a visa. Now, how she can improve? More gestures. When she was talking about train, going to a train, was it the first time? What about the sound? Chuk, 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 chuk. She also mentioned coming back on an airplane. How was it? Was that the first time? And she could have said that, hey, I went on a train, but then when I came back on an airplane, oh, we were above the clouds. It was heavenly. So there was an opportunity to add some expressions, facial expressions, along with the pauses to make it dramatic. Our second speaker was Toastmaster Imran. He was asked what childhood memory you have about summers. And he talked about the Rana 11, playing cricket, and then Chor Pakro, Sati. And then he ended by saying there are a lot of memories, not just one. I would have liked to talk about Rana 11 and say we have a lot of memories. Let me tell you about one memory and then go into a story, especially if it has some humor to it. That would have made it an interesting response. Our third speaker was Toastmaster Mariam Aftab. Do you think, something about the holidays? And she talked about the 2 weeks her husband was in Karachi with the kids and she was by herself, and that was a good time. So she responded to the question, but she had a good opportunity to use gestures. She could have said, hey, my husband and kids were in Karachi, and while I was in Dubai. At that time, she goes, oh, it was a holiday. I was on vacation. Or If she said that, she could have said, but don't tell my husband about it. Or she could have said that, hey, my husband was in Karachi. I called him, told him, oh, I'm miserable because you and the kids are not here. But in reality, oh, I was having a great time. So she missed out that opportunity to use some facial expressions and voice modulation. Our fourth Toastmaster was Wahid. He talked about biryani. He answered the question about the food, but you could have described that biryani instead of just saying the mirchi. Tell us, was the chicken pieces, big chicken legs in it? And then instead of saying cold drinks, you say, hey, was it pakola, green pakola, or cream soda? Our last speaker was Ali Ashar Ahmed. He also answered the question about memory with the friends, but he had an opportunity when talking about it was hot in Karachi, this heat. He could have just kind of used that, oh, how hot it is in Karachi. So Toastmasters, when you're responding to tabletop's question, use some gestures, put some life into it. And if you can stand and give a response, that's better. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, DDM Sarfraz, for your valuable feedback on table topics, speeches. So now let's move towards the role holders for the first role of Remedian and Word Master. I would like to call Toastmaster Wahid. So Toastmaster Wahid, good to you.
Okay, well, regarding the speeches were really interesting and enjoyable. There were two valuable uses of the word integrity by DTM Sarafraz Nazir in his speech. And those two valuable uses were the, only uses, I think, because I haven't heard nothing more. And since, although it is Sunday, I'm in my office, and it is a working day for us in Iran. So I was busy a little bit. If there was any, please notify me regarding the
I
grammar.
think there was one more TM Wahid from DTM Talab bin Ahmed. He used in his evaluation.
Okay, so apologies, my apologies, I wasn't there. Thank you for notifying me. And regarding the grammar, you are all masters of grammar, and everything was going really good. I only heard Mr. Karim Megani said in his speech, there was leadership challenges. Instead, he could have said that there were leadership challenges. And he also said in his speech that I called my friend and asked about the memories of playing together. So his friend replied, I remember we played together. So since he was remembering something and he was talking about the memories and bringing it to today, so it was much better to use the present perfect. We have played together in those teams. So these were the things. And again, regarding to the usage of the word integrity, I welcome all of the speakers to come and speak and use the word of the day in their speeches. And I myself remember, when first I faced this word integrity, it was when that TM Muhammad Asghar handed over a book to me to read it. So it was The Way of the Owl, Succeeding with Integrity in a Conflicting World by Frank Rivers. So it was 25 years ago. Thank you, over to you.
Toastmaster. Numbers are our counter report, and for that I request Toastmaster Mariam Akhtar, please report about the account.
Mariam Akhtar.
Yes. How does it feel when you are all ready with a paper and pen to write down every detail of iron arms, and you're all ready to do that? In every speech, You just try to figure out, try to find it out, and all in vain. I could not find any I-nouns. No filler words. There were very few that I don't want to write down. Because when someone I was just finding out, oh my God, he's just going to be no, that's a part of the speech. Cannot do that. That was all for my side. Thank you guys for not using I-nouns. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So now let's move towards the timer's report. Timer, can we have your report?
Okay, please ignore the background voice. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, about the prepared speeches, we had 55 minutes. Overall time taken by the prepared speakers, 41 minutes. Kareem Meghani took 6 minutes and 21 seconds. Fahim Razak, Sarfraz Nazir took 6 minutes and 21 seconds. Then Fahim Razak took 7 minutes and 31 seconds. Mariam Aftab took 7 minutes and 21 seconds. Kareem Meghani 7 minutes and 27 seconds. Wase 4 minutes and 54 seconds. Talha Ben Hamid 7 minutes and 29 seconds. Then table topic session allotted time was 15 minutes. Time taken 9 minutes. The time taken by the individual speakers are 2 minutes and 1 second by Zara Ibrahim. Imran Rana took 1 minute and 46 seconds. Mariam Aftab took 1 minute and 8 seconds. Toastmaster Wahid took 1 minute and 36 seconds. Then Toastmaster Ali Ashar Anjum took 2 minutes and 24 seconds. For speech evaluations, Toastmaster Kareem Meghani took 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Toastmaster Ghulam Qadir took 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Toastmaster Imran Rana took 2 minutes and 45 seconds. DTM Ali Ashar Anjum took 3 minutes and 36 seconds. DTM Talha took 3 minutes and 21 seconds. Toastmaster Fahim Razak took 3 minutes and 3 seconds. Then table topic evaluation, 4 minutes and 30 seconds. And times for reports are still going on. So over to you, Toastmaster or General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mecca. Now I would like to call the listener, please listener, and assist our listening skills.
Okay, listener has left the meeting, so you can skip her.
Okay, sir, Toastmaster Imran, I have assigned this role now.
Okay, go ahead.
Great. So Toastmasters are ready.
All right. Yes. So I'm starting with it. Who ordered what and what was ordered from Mirchili? If anyone can answer, it was DTM Sarfaraz's speech where he mentioned 3 things which was ordered from Mirchili. Anyone remember? Yeah?
Golgappe? One of them was Golgappe?
Yeah. Yes. Okay, so what was the name of that person who made DTM Sarfaraz miserable? It was
Jamila.
even
Jamila.
or it can even be Jamil, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
Jamila.
Yes. Can someone narrate the sequence of those eating stations, like from Mirchili to New York Pizza to anyone? The sequence of the events, the eating stations, yeah. And it was ended through something. It was a shake, which he mentioned. Specific shake.
I only remember strawberry shake.
Strawberry shake, yes, it is strawberry shake. Okay, so in Toastmaster Farhan Razak's speech, there was a main focus which was being highlighted was in various points of his speech was dash. Fahim Razak, yeah, Toastmaster Fahim Razak. He told, tailor your dash
Communication style.
to the dash.
Direct.
Tailor your communication style to the
proficiency.
Yeah, he said tailor your communication style to the situations. So now moving towards the other questions, what is the basic of leadership in perspective of Toastmaster Meghani? Basic of leadership. He told something, and it was in the question basically. Like the answer is in the question.
Lead the legacy, I guess.
what is the basic of leadership? So the question, the answer is in the question basically. Understanding about leadership. Okay. So there was a group which was being named by Toastmaster Megani. It was Dash Group.
Noble Children Group.
Yeah, Noble Children Group, NCG Group. Yeah. So there was the timings which were mentioned. It was Sunday, and there were timings from. Anyone remember? The people who they used to go from 3 to dash PM.
6 p.m.
5. All right. So he also said no funds, just dash. He talked about Toastmaster Megani. He said no funds, just dash. So it's basically about our brain gives us idea. Yeah. So one thing which he learned, Toastmaster Megani learned something. So
Legacy. There should be a legacy.
yeah, he's in the end he said we did not had dash plan.
Successor?
Yes, succession. Okay, so 3 games which were mentioned by Toastmaster Wasi Ahmed, where he catered 200 participants.
Scrabble.
Yes.
One is Scrabble. यार बाकी बता दो भाई.
Chess.
Chess.
And the third one, I couldn't even able to listen. He will answer.
Chess and Scrabble.
Yeah.
Speed cubing. Speed cubing. You
Okay.
know?
All right. So he ended. He also said something. While he was leaving from the stage, he realized something, and it was I did not do dash while leaving from the stage. Yeah, justice to my team members in that moment. And he concluded his speech on a line: when opportunity knock dash.
On the
knock once.
Yeah,
knock once.
I will conquer it. Yes, I'm because of short of time. I'm being a bit okay. So Toastmaster DTM Talha, there was a passenger name. Along with him, there was a passenger called Aftab. Okay, in his bag there were a few things, and he mentioned the number of items he had with number. Can anyone recall?
I think 7. Was it 7?
4 gynamas.
5 water
Then-
bottles.
Yes.
4 ihram.
Yes, and they were they were ihram, but number is wrong. Toastmaster Imran.
1
They
is
were
spare ihram.
2 spare ihram.
Four. There were 4 ihrams.
No. It was another bag with.
4 is the other guy's one, yeah, that he was telling afterwards.
I am a listener actually, so I know everything. Just kidding. Okay, so Toastmaster Imran Rana have dash brothers and dash sisters.
11.
No, dash brothers and dash sisters.
Oh.
6 and 5. 6
No,
sisters,
no.
5 brothers.
No.
I know 9 brothers and 3. Right?
No, you are 9 plus dash comes 11. 9 plus
2.
2. Yes, you said 3.
No,
it's okay. All right. So do I have time?
बस अब बहुत embarrassment हो गई, अब बस करते हैं.
नहीं, it's all right. So okay. Although I have many questions, all right, it's okay. Back to you, General Evaluator. I hope you like the session.
Yes.
Oh, definitely. We can understand that you are a teacher. You should join the profession for teaching now.
Yes. One of the toughest listening session we have. So, as we are done with all the role holders, yes, now it's time for the night evaluation. So we have start on almost on time at 11:04, and now we are at 1:18. We are just 10 minutes late according to the agenda. It is okay. It is okay. Today we have experienced wonderful speeches. I must say quality speeches by everyone. when the icebreaker was amazing today, and every speaker did his best, and the the I must say that it was a tough task to vote for the best speakers, followed by the table topic sessions, and our table topic master did a great job with the choosing topics aligned with the theme, and then also all the the respondents were amazing. Then evaluation segment, and I must say that in Karachi Toastmaster Club, the evaluation is just we have a cogent and very sincere evaluations that help us to grow and learn about ourselves and explore our journey towards eloquence. So, in the end, we have a great meeting. It was our first Ramzan meeting of this year, and we just done it with beautifully. And and in the end, we have a great listening session in which we all were just she just made us try that we have just such poor listening skills, but it is going to help us in future to be meticulous on the details, and I think we have a great meeting. And so over to the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Evaluator.
Thank you so much, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Hiba has just left. She has an interview, so let's hope for the best. She will have a wonderful interview. So good to have you all in this Ramadan meeting. I would like to directly hand over the charge back to the president. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. VP Education. What a meeting today. I don't know, perhaps fasting agrees with us because everybody had a different kind of level and energy level, and intellectual capacity on display today was downright stunning. So perhaps there is some merit to the argument where people say that if you take away the worldly pleasures of food and drink and luxuries, you start to become more attuned to the universe around you. And we all saw that today in the speeches, in the table topics, even in the listening session. In fact, the listening session actually conveyed to us the quality of the content that was presented during the meeting, and also the stunning level of detail with which it was noted by the listener. So it was an absolute feast for the ears and eyes, this meeting today. And before we move further, we will carry on a little tradition of ours that we do for every icebreaker, and that is the standing ovation. So everyone please stand on your seats and give our icebreaker a standing ovation. And now moving on to the polling results. The critics' choice results are with our VP Education. He has compiled them, but I will move on to the. All right, no, before that, I will like to take two comments. First, from Toastmaster Zahra Ibrahim, and the second from our icebreaker Toastmaster Wase Ahmed. Briefly, your comments about the meeting.
Thank you. Am I audible and visible, sir? DTM Tala? Okay, so thank you very much for always sharing the links of course, on the KTC guest group. So it's always a pleasure, joining here and listening to such incredible speakers, especially DTM Sarfaraz and speaker like you. And I would want to appreciate the icebreaker speech as well. It was the very first speech, and how it was being presented to the audience. It was amazing. So thank you very much for having me. And I really enjoyed, although I told Toastmaster Hiba, can I facilitate this role being a listener because I will be there throughout? And she said, why not? And so I did the listener role. So thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much. And Toastmaster Wasi Ahmed, he has been participating in, I mean, he's been a member for some time and he's been participating, and I've been noticing him, he's been listening very intently onto the meetings that he participates. So that's thoroughly appreciated. And today he broke the ice. So please share some thoughts about your experience and about the meeting in general.
Thank you, DTM Talavan Ahmed. It's really a tough job for me to now speak. And again, I'm not in a shape to speak again, but it was a really, really great experience. To be honest, KTC has a really full of really humble people. And if you and your team wouldn't have been there to encourage me, I wouldn't have been here speaking right now. Due to certain, I told you, due to my busy schedule and everything else that was going on, I was supposed to give my speech back in January, but I didn't. So better late than never. So thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a privilege, and I hope that we continue to see you speaking now that you've broken the ice. So thank you so much for that. Now, moving on to the poll results. Today, our best speaker, now, if you want evidence, I can submit the evidence. It goes to me. And no, for the record, I'm not, as the meeting host, I cannot vote, but I won by 1 vote. So, and that was not mine. And the good thing is that 5 speakers received some votes, which, given the fact that there were 11 votes in total, is an absolutely fantastic achievement for everyone. Best table topic today goes to, oh wow, Toastmaster Imran Rana. Congratulations. Again by 1 vote, but fair and square. Best evaluator today goes to Toastmaster Fahim Razak. So I guess you have to say a thank you to me because you were my evaluator, of course. Now, best facilitator goes to, by quite a bit of margin, our listener, Toastmaster Zahra Ibrahim. So speaking of people who make us feel miserable, that were mentioned by DTM Sarfaraz, apparently we love people who make us miserable, especially the listeners who make us rack our minds like Toastmaster Zahra did. So absolutely fantastic job. And I realize that I haven't floated the poll for best big 4, but I will float it just now. And in the meantime, Toastmaster Imran can announce the result for the Critics' Choice Awards.
What do you want me to announce for best critics?
Yeah, Critics' Choice.
Okay, as we all know, Critics' Choice Awards is about all the speeches were observed according to the judges' ballot, and there's one secret judge behind that. Plus, we also incorporate the result of speech evaluator, how the speech is adhered to the objectives, and according to that, the third place goes to our icebreaker, Toastmaster Wasi Ahmed. The second place goes to DTM Sarfaraz Nazir. And first place goes to DTM Talha bin Hamid. Congratulations, all 3.
Thank you so much, VP Education. And now I'll announce the result for Best Big 4, which goes once again by quite a narrow margin to our Journal Evaluator, Distinguished Toastmaster Ali Ashar Arjun. Congratulations. And now I have a little announcement. That announcement is that our meetings will continue on Sunday mornings for the duration of Ramadan. And we know that we used to have academy meetings too during weekends, during Ramadan. So maybe we can think about holding one separately, or maybe incorporating it into this meeting as a breakout room. So whatever the outcome is, we need at least 12 people to confirm their physical attendance in order to hold a physical meeting at Beach Luxury. So we will be floating a poll after this meeting. Toastmaster Imran will be floating a poll along with the agenda for the next meeting, and we need 12 confirmations. If we do receive 12 confirmations for physical attendance, next meeting, inshallah, will be hybrid at Beach Luxury and on Zoom. The second announcement is that, and that is especially for level 1 speakers or new members, that we will soon be launching a speechcraft program at KTC, and announcement will be made accordingly. We plan to kick it off from the very next week, and most probably it will take the shape of a separate breakout room simultaneously with the main meeting. The vision is to have 7 to 8 sessions of 1 hour each. So the participants of the speechcraft will be in the breakout room with speechcraft coordinator for 1 hour, and then they can rejoin the main meeting. So those are the 2 announcements. Mr. VP Education, do you want to make any announcements?
You already have made all the announcements, but just one more announcement, that since the renewal period has started, those who haven't submitted their renewal, please submit it. Otherwise, you won't be able to log into your IDs. You won't be able to deliver your projects. We can provide you the PDF files, but once you would like to access to your ID, the TMI will stop you there. So no restrictions from our side.
Thank you so much. And let me add that the dashboard for renewals will lock for due to some system upgrade on part of Toastmasters on, I think, April 24th, if I'm not wrong. So till that time, there's also another incentive for renewals, and that is that you can renew at the previous rates where the dollar was 170 for 8,900 rupees. So you can make that renewal on those rates, because we believe that we announced that figure and we need to facilitate the members. But after April 24th, we may have to look at increasing the renewal price simply because of the devaluation of part rupees, unless, of course, it is back at those levels. So let's see how that pans out. But the message to everyone is that everyone except the new members, because the new members term is already starting from April 1, so they are renewed. Everyone else who was a member in the previous term and haven't renewed, the message is to renew as soon as possible. So that is pretty much it from my side, and I declare this meeting closed now, and I'm stopping the recording. Anyone who wants to share anything